Welcome to this week's episode of Renaissance Man. And my theme is be yourself because everyone else is taken. My next guest is a singer, a songwriter, such a talented musician, also a judge on The Masked Singer, and just one of my favorite artists and people in the game. Welcome to the show, Robin Thicke.
Woo! Yes, I'm clapping for myself because there's nobody here. Because we in this COVID right now.
You deserve it. Absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. As many folks know, your dad is the late, great Alan Thicke, star of Growing Pains.
Man.
Your mother was an actress as well as in entertaining. So it's clearly in your bloodlines. How did you decide on being a singer versus following your parents' footsteps?
Well, I didn't even know it when I was young. I just, some things you just kind of know early, and I loved singing like Michael Jackson and Prince and Aretha when I was like 10 years old. And then I'd get some attention because people would be like, wow, you got a nice voice. And then that, anything when you're a kid that builds that kind of self-confidence that, hey, I might be good at something, like the first time you went out on the court and you were like, hey, this comes kind of naturally. You know what I mean? It's the same feeling musically. And it turns out on my mother's side of the family, we have about 6 generations of musicians. There were traveling family bands, child prodigy violin players. My grandfather was a jazz trumpet player. His father was a jazz trumpet player. So we've been trying to be black for generations. You know what I mean?
You ain't got to try. We already had you in the
first in my
draft
family.
Years ago, decades ago. We already drafted.
I'm not the first in my family to be inspired,
You ain't have a choice. I'm sorry to tell you. I was doing some research on you, and I heard this crazy story that when the great Wayne Gretzky was traded to the LA Kings, he was babysitting you. Please tell me more.
Actually, I have my hand in a couple special moments in sports history, but my biggest is Wayne Gretzky. So yes, my father had taken my older brother to Russia for a 10-day trip. So I was attending Joe Torre baseball camp in the Valley. So I'm at Joe Torre baseball camp every morning. Wayne and Janet Gretzky but they hadn't been married yet. They were just staying for the summer at our house as guests. And they were staying in my dad's room for the 10 days that he was gone with my brother. So the phone call comes in the morning. I'm about to leave for Joe Torre baseball camp. I answer the phone. It's Bruce McNall. Hey, Bruce. Hey, Robin, I need you to wake Wayne up. Because they were all very friendly. My father was always mixed up. He went to the Forum every second night. Never missed a Kings game, barely missed a Laker game. Like my dad loved it. I remember Magic Johnson had a great quote that said, "The first celebrity I ever hung out with in Los Angeles was Alan Thicke."
That's dope.
That's love. My dad just loved. He was from a small town in northern Ontario, Canada, and he loved everything about Hollywood and sports, and he was mixed up in it. So I get the call from Bruce McNall. He wants me to wake up Wayne. I'm like, shit, okay, so I'm knocking on the door. Wayne, I'm like 10 years old, whatever year that was, 11 years old, I think. And so Wayne gets the phone. I go to camp. I come back from camp and Wayne is in Edmonton on a podium.
Wow.
Saying that he has been traded and he's crying. And I'm like, what? That was the 7 a.m. phone call from Bruce McNall. And I got Wayne on the phone. So Edmonton will never forgive me. That's for sure. For the part I played. But yeah, it was a pretty great story.
What a legendary story. And when you start talking about all-time GOATs in whatever sport, people better put some respect on his name for real.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's there's nobody come close to those numbers yet,
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, the theme for this episode is be yourself. Everyone else is taken. The late great music executive Andre Harrell was a huge part of breaking you into the industry. What did you learn from him? And about being true to yourself and true to your music?
Well, rest in peace, the godfather to my son, Andre Harrell, who was not only my mentor and closest friend, but was also my creative partner. Every album, every song, every video, every single cover, there wasn't anything I didn't run by him or get his information. You know, like the great Lee Daniels, and a handful of us like Puffy, and you know, we all knew that his advice was probably the best advice you're gonna get, and a lot of us would only listen to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was that gifted, and the reason was is because he could see you and see all of the things you could be. A lot of us when we're young, we only see, I'm going to be a rock star or a rap star, I'm going to be a ball player, but he says no, then you're going to go to China and do this, then you're going to go to Europe and do this, then you're going to have a cologne, and you're going to have he saw the whole thing from the first handshake, you know what I mean? And the first listen of the music. And so he really opened up my whole life into a way that is unmatchable. And what he taught me very early on, I was talented. You know, I had it, just like anything, I had talent, but I didn't know where to put it. And then he taught me that your talent won't mean much unless you connect with people, unless your goal and your mission is to connect with the world. Don't show off to them. Don't just show them everything you can do. Connect with them, you know, tell your story and connect it to their story. And so everything that I've done since then has always been to try to share my life in a soulful, honest way, and to connect with people and make them feel a little less alone. Because I grew up in a big house with my dad working all the time. Mom was gone all the time. My brother had the skull and crossbones on his door. So I was just kind of a lonely kid, you know, in a big house, you know, but the piano was there. So I'd go to the piano and I'd let my loneliness out, and something beautiful came from that. So I think it's just about, he really taught me to, like that. He said, Stevie Wonder, if Stevie Wonder's at a party and you're hanging out with him, he'll just hop on the piano and start playing songs. He gives his gift away. Do you know what I mean? He gives it to you. And then it's inevitable that the world gives Stevie back the energy he deserves, you know?
One of the
Because he
things I
gives so
see,
much.
and Andre was legendary for doing this, is the nurturing of a young artist. Now it seems like the goal is to have a hot record, and then you don't necessarily become a full artist. Like you just mentioned, you play the piano, you do the instruments, you sing, you write. So what do you think about that as it relates to developing an artist in today's industry?
Well, that you just set me up so perfectly. Andre didn't develop the artist, he developed the human being. He developed the whole person. Do you know what I mean? He gave you so much information about how to deal with people, how to keep your swag, but still be kind, to be have confidence in your vision, but be open-minded to new information. Do you know all the basic things of life that can make you a good person? Accomplishments will come when you are hardworking, kind, charming, fun to be around. If you get the basics down, life and doors will open up for you.
That's real game, for real. And congratulations. You just dropped a new record called Fired Up.
Yes.
With the NFL. That is crazy.
Yes.
Tell us about the new track.
Yes. Well, this actually came about from a jam session. When I first started working on this album, we hit the studio with the band, and you know, we just try to throw as many ideas around, and we ended up with this great groove. And then after a while, a lot of the new album I have coming out is really like soulful, groovy love song, and this one just kind of like was its own thing. So luckily the NFL heard it, they loved it, and we made a partnership with them, with the charity, with the NFL charity, to inspire change. And you know, so it's just a real positive movement that the NFL is trying to be a part of, in Rock Nation and Jay-Z. And I was lucky enough that my song was able to be a part of this whole family teamwork. You know what I mean?
A new father of number 4. Congratulations. Please shout out your better half and your family.
Yes. Oh, I have to. Okay. Well, baby mama, baby mama
Hey,
times
I'm there.
three.
I'm there. 2.5. I'm
You got,
there.
yeah, yeah. Baby mama times three right now. She's holding it down. And, when you see your woman go through those 9 months and then the birth and then the feeding and it's just such a powerful, it's the most powerful thing on this earth, you know what I mean, is to create, give life, so you're just so grateful for this child, and you're so grateful to the mother, and you just want to soak her with presents and bath bubbles and anything you can, you know what I mean? and,
Absolutely. Bring
and
some
good
of those
feelings.
records to life. Some
Yeah,
of those
right.
things you got us
I just
at
want her
home
to
doing, you got
I
to
just want her to
actually be doing
smile.
now.
I want her to smile in between breastfeeding, you know?
Absolutely. I appreciate the love. And before I let you get out
Oh,
of
I
here,
didn't shout out. Wait, I didn't shout out my daughters. Sorry. Right. I
yeah,
got to
see,
shout out my
please
kids.
do.
I just did
No question.
wifey. 10-year-old Julian Fuego Thick. He's the new voice in the family. He can his main goal in life is to outsing his father, and he's almost there.
Wow, that's
And
awesome.
my daughter Mia, who's the funniest, who's the comedian in the family, and my 1-year-old Lola, who's a badass. And then my new boy Luca. I'm so blessed, and thank you so much for having me, Jalen. Lots of love to you, man. And fire it up, everybody. Check it out. NFL Songs of the Season, and inspire change. Fire it up, Robin Thicke.
Absolutely. Before I let you get out of here, I do a rapid fire segment called Gone in 60 Seconds,
Okay.
proudly presented by Tri-State Cadillac Dealers. Let's get into it. Many folks don't know you're Canadian American. Please pick between these Canadian artists, Drake or Bieber.
Oh, I love me some Biebs, but I gotta I gotta go with Drizzy Drake.
No doubt. That's a tough one, I know. How about Shania Twain or Celine Dion?
Okay, another great story, because my father happened to
Yes.
be closest friends with David Foster before either one of them made it in Canada. I got to be around the Celine movement very early, just like a studio session. However, the Shania Twain story is even better. Shania Twain, when she came to Los Angeles to try to get a record deal, her manager knew my father from way back in the day in Canada, and she came and stayed in our guest house for 2 weeks while she went to record companies to get a record deal. So I got to
Wow.
shout out my girl Shania, because she stayed
That's
at the house.
love. That's
She's part of
dope.
our Canadian brethren.
You've written songs for stars like Michael Jackson, Pink, and Mark Anthony. Who would you like to write a song for next? Dead or alive?
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know. At this point in my life right now, I don't really think about writing for other people as much. But usually when I do, I think about, favorite vocalists, or people who have some kind of special vibe. I love her, Her. I think that there's something about her that just
Talented. Yes.
just oozes all the right things, and I've got to meet her a couple times. I was in a restaurant eating dinner, and she came up to me to say hi, because we had seen each other at the Clive Davis event, and I told her how amazing she was. And then she just came up, and she was just the energy that she puts out. It reminds me of that Stevie Wonder, that kind of shining light. You know what I mean? That everywhere they go, They just shine light on people. So I would love to write a song for her. And I mean, before it's all said and done, because Drake did a song with me on his first mixtape before his first album. He took one of my records called Teach You a Lesson.
Yes.
And he rapped on it, and it was so fly. So I would love to do an original record with Drake, just because I'm such a big fan.
Let's make it happen, Drizzy Drake. Let's put it on for Toronto.
Yeah, right.
That need to go down.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of great artists out there, man. There's just too many to name, but there's so many I'd love to work with. I'd love to work with Lil Baby. You know what I mean? I love his work. A lot of people.
He crushing them.
He's killing it.
Besides your amazing dad, give me your other favorite TV dad.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I was more partial to Ted Danson. You know what I mean?
Legend.
I was a Cheers man. You know what I mean? I was a Cheers man. I liked how Ted
Taking away in the world today.
He had the good hair. He was always talking about his good hair. Yeah. I liked I like Ted Danson. After that, I was hard. Nobody's coming to mind right away,
But he's a legend,
plus I can't put, I got to put Pops, and then I got to have like
no
5
question.
steps between.
No question. You gotta represent. 2 more, and I'll let you get out of here. I appreciate the love. You're an LA sports fan. How many titles does LeBron James win with the Lakers?
Oh, I think I think 2. I sang at Chris Paul's wedding.
Dope.
And LeBron and Melo and Kevin Hart. And that's actually where I met Kevin Hart. And I did my impression of Kevin Hart for Kevin on the block, hold it down, gun on my waist, straight face, not a game, one pillow, no pillowcase. Did nobody ride me? It was early. So I did my whole impression for him at Chris Paul's wedding. And then about a month later, he calls me and says, yeah, hey, I'm doing this TV show, BET. You want to do be on The Real Husbands of Hollywood? So that was a fun memory. But yeah, I remember dancing on the floor with LeBron, and they had this was right when the big 3 came together. This is before they had even played a game. I think that was just about to happen.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh, y'all definitely gonna win a couple. And he kind of looked at me like they was gonna run off 5,
Not 5, not 6, not 7.
Yeah, he looked at me like they were gonna get 5 or 6, and I was like, 2 is easy. The third one's gonna be hard. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, well, not 2 is easy, but I had a feeling they'd get 2. So I think I have the same feeling about the Lakers. I think we're gonna repeat this year. I don't think anybody's got the swag that the Lakers have this year. And then after that, the pieces are gonna have, we'll see what happens. But I think we got this one. I think if everybody stays healthy, we got this.
I can't front. I agree. And final question before I let you get out of here, because the Lakers have the 3 things that you need in the NBA. They have superstars, LeBron and AD. They crushed free agency, added Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. Then they built from within. You still have Kuzma and Caruso and THT balling. Like, they really setting themselves up to do something special. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Finally, and you have a newborn, and you've made so many great songs to set the mood for all of us. But tell me the favorite song of yours to set the mood.
You know what? That's funny. It's more of an album. It's an album vibe. Like I used to put on Marvin's "I Want You." You know what I mean? Like if I had guests coming over, a little parties, I want you and I want you to, just to get that going. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The strings, let that romance, get started. And then I would play D'Angelo's "Brown Sugar." Because right from that
Brown sugar bag.
yeah, right when that doom, doom, right when that bass come in, something about to happen, and that album is so strong. I don't know if there's like an album lately that I could just play like that, but that at least that's coming to mind. But I definitely can't hear my own music. That's for sure.
No.
If my music come on, I'm like, whoa, skip, cut,
Exactly.
next rig, go change Pandora, do something.
Exactly. Change. Siri, please.
Anything but Robin Thicke. Play Robin Thicke. No, anything but.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time and look forward to catching up soon.
Yeah, man. Lots of love to you, Jalen. Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, indeed.